Now let's look at page 100 in your student book. When we have shallow knowledge of a word, we can often use it in a sentence, but we can't create a meaningful definition. Define it helps us think about words more deeply. Consequently, we are better able to use and define the word. We are going to think about aspects of the word, the way it looks, its qualities, its parts, and its features. If we can put the word into a category and then think of qualities or characteristics, it is easy to create a sentence that can serve as the definition of the word. The category of the word is a broad group that it fits into. Let's look at a word we are now very familiar with. The broad category for the word constellation is picture. The attributes of a word are what makes it unique or different from other words within the category. Attributes are things like size, shape, color, texture, and function. Attributes of constellation are that it is in the sky and it is a pattern of stars. So constellation can be defined as a picture formed by a pattern of stars in the sky. Now look on page 60. Look at the word shield. In the passage Gemini the Twins, the constellation Orion uses a shield to stop the raging bull. If the shield will stop the bull, what is it providing for Orion? It's providing protection. If the shield protects Orion's body, is it wide or thin? That's right. It's going to be wide. It's got to be wide enough to protect his body. How does Orion use the shield? He holds it up. What is the shield made of? Lion skin must be pretty durable to stop a raging bull. If we put shield into a broad category, that would be protection. A shield is a type of protection. What attributes make a shield different from other types of protection? Things like it's wide, you hold it in front of your body, and it's made from durable material. So now we're going to use the category and attributes to write a definition. I'm going to write that a shield is a wide piece of durable material held in front of the body for protection. Now, by that reasoning, what category would a battle be? And what attributes make it special? Once you have your category and attributes recorded, I want you to go ahead and record your definition. Now do the same for the word square and the word God. Make sure that you verify your meanings with a dictionary if needed. Now, the dictionary meaning may not exactly match your meaning, and that is okay. But just make sure that you're on the right page. Now turn to page 101 in the student book. For this activity, you're going to need a marker, a highlighter, or a colored pencil, or a different colored pen. Proficient readers preview text features such as headings and graphics. They reread text slowly and carefully to gain understanding. Proficient readers monitor their thinking while reading to be sure that each sentence and paragraph makes sense. They also look for answers to big idea questions. In this unit, we are answering the questions, why are constellations important? And how have various cultures explained the constellation Gemini? Let's do what skilled readers do and reread Gemini, the Twins. We will review the text features of nonfiction text. Please use your writing utensil to mark your answer according to my instructions. Draw a rectangle around the title, Gemini, the Twins. Circle each heading as I read it aloud. What are constellations? Why did the idea of constellations begin? The ancient stories of Gemini. Look up. You should have circled all 4 headings. Next, mark each bold vocabulary word as I read it aloud. Constellation. Constellation is a group of stars that form a shape. Say constellation. Gemini is a constellation. It is also called the Twins. Patterns. Patterns are pictures, images, or designs made by repeated items. Say patterns. On a dark night, star patterns decorate the sky. Ancient. Ancient means very old. Say ancient. Ancient Greeks told stories about the constellations. Poets. Poets are people who write stories in lines with emotion and rhythm. Say poets. Poets have told stories about stars for thousands of years. Devoted. Devoted means loyal or deeply caring. Say devoted. The Gemini twins were devoted brothers. Mortal. Mortal means subject to death or will not live forever. Say mortal. Castor and his mother were mortal. Expert. Expert means skilled or knowledgeable. Say expert. The twins were expert soldiers. Brilliant. Brilliant means very bright or giving off lots of light. Say brilliant. Constellations are brilliant in the night sky. Are there any vocabulary words that are still confusing for you to read or understand? Share your ratings from the first lesson. Were you honest about your word knowledge? Now is the time to do something about it. It's time to reread the text the way skilled readers do. You will read the text, Gemini the Twins, 1 paragraph at a time. After each paragraph, you will monitor your understanding by circling check marks or the question marks. Please be sure to draw a question mark over any confusing words, phrases, or sentences. I will also provide specific instruction on how to mark the text that will help you with your comprehension and writing. With eyes on text, use your pencil eraser to follow along. Now I want you to read the first paragraph aloud. Circle the check mark or question mark for this paragraph. Draw a question mark over any words that confused you. Go to line 1. Write the word when over the prepositional phrase that provides a time. Draw a square around the preposition. Write the word where over the prepositional phrase that tells a place. Draw a square around the preposition. Circle the constellation's name. Go to the next line. Circle the name of the constellation's brightest stars. Now read aloud the section, What are constellations? Circle the check mark or question mark for this section. Draw a question mark over words that confuse you. Go to line 5. Mark the adjectives, in other words, describing words, that describe what people think of constellations. Mark the 3 groups of people that used constellations for their work. Mark the explanation of how sailors used constellations. Mark the explanation of how farmers used constellations. Go to lines 10 and 11. Mark the evidence that explains how constellations can indicate time. Now write an IVF topic sentence for the second paragraph. Remember that you're identifying with the I, you're using a strong verb, and then you're finishing up your thought. If you need to, refer back to page 91 and look at your example IVF sentences. Now read aloud the section, Why did the idea of constellations begin? Circle the check mark or question mark for this section. Draw a question mark over words that confuse you. Review line 14. Number the 2 purposes for constellations. Mark the phrase that explains what constellations do. Mark how many constellations the sky is divided into. Review lines 19 and 20. Underline the prepositional phrases that tell when Gemini can be spotted. Put squares around their prepositions. Now write an IVF topic sentence for this section. Refer back to your previous topic sentence or page 91 for more examples. Now let's read The Ancient Stories of Gemini. Aloud. Circle the check mark or question mark for this section. Draw a question mark over words that confuse you. Review lines 21 through 24. Draw an arrow from the ancient people to their story about Gemini. For example, draw an arrow from Greeks to sons of the Greek god. Circle one word common to all stories. Go to line 27. Mark the synonym for human. Go to line 28. Mark the antonym or opposite for human. Now retell the story about the Greek twins, Castor and Pollux, by completing the charts. Now finish the selection by reading "Look Up" aloud. Circle the check mark or question mark for this section. Draw a question mark over the words that confuse you. Go to line 36. Circle Ursa Major's nickname. On the next line, draw an arrow to its famous formation of stars identified by a square. Go to line 38. Circle the words that mean the same as Northern Hemisphere. Go to line 43. Circle a famous star that is part of Ursa Minor. Go to line 45. Circle Orion's nickname. Review line 46. Circle the animal that Orion is ready to strike. Go to line 48. Underline the possessive noun. Remember that a possessive noun shows ownership and has an apostrophe. Draw an arrow to show what the noun owns. Now go to line 53. Circle Leo's nickname. Review lines 54 and 55. Underline what Leo looks like in the sky. Go to lines 55 and 56. Circle the words that mean the same as northern sky. Go to lines 58 and 59. Circle the constellation that has 101 stars. Go to line 60. Circle the largest constellation. Now write an IVF topic sentence for this section. Refer back to your previous examples or page 91 if needed. When you reread text, you are often able to understand sentences you didn't understand the first time. Sometimes sentences are difficult to understand because of the way they are written. In this lesson, we are going to work on the order of words within the sentences we write. Word order is often referred to as syntax. Word order can sometimes make a sentence very difficult to understand. Knowing what parts of a sentence can be reordered without changing the meaning of the sentence can help you figure out difficult sentences. Changing the syntax or word order of a sentence can also help you improve your writing. It is boring to read something in which every sentence sounds the same. We will improve our masterpiece sentences by answering our subject and predicate questions. Consider this basic sentence. Jack asked. Even though I can answer the who question and what did he do question, this sentence sounds incomplete. I'll begin with the where question. We already have Jack asked a question, but I want to know where he asked that question. Jack asked a question in class. I'll say in class. What about when he asked that question? I'll say yesterday. Jack asked a question in class yesterday. Now, what about how? How did Jack ask a question? I'll say impatiently. Jack asked a question in class yesterday impatiently. Notice how the sentence is growing by displaying the chosen response after each question has been answered. Our sentence reads, Jack asked a question in class yesterday impatiently. Do you like that arrangement of words? I don't. What if we change the order so it read, yesterday in class Jack asked a question impatiently. But there are other ways we can do this, and sometimes we have to put a period or put a comma in the sentence. For example, if we said yesterday in class, we would put a comma after class. So let's look at a few more examples. Yesterday, comma, Jack impatiently asked a question in class. Or what about Jack impatiently asked a question in class yesterday? Or yesterday in class, comma, Jack impatiently asked a question. This one I don't like as much, this last one. In class, comma, Jack impatiently asked a question yesterday. It seems a little convoluted. I kind of like it if the where and when are in the same general area, so I don't like that one as much. But it's important to realize that you have options in ordering the words in your sentences.